Australian bushfire crisis. In response to breaking and ongoing news, AskReddit would like to acknowledge the current state of emergency declared in Australia. The 2019 to 2020 bushfires have destroyed over 2,500 buildings, including over 1,900 houses, and killed 27 people as of January 7, 2020. Currently a massive effort is underway to tackle these fires and keep people, homes, and animals safe. Our thoughts are with them and those that have been impacted. Please use this thread to discuss the impact that the Australian bushfires have had on yourself and your loved ones, offer emotional support to your fellow Redditors, and share breaking and ongoing news stories regarding this subject. Many of you have been asking how you may help your fellow Redditors affected by these bushfires. These are some of the resources you can use to help, as noted from reputable resources. I live in the Blue Mountains, which is west of Sydney. The Blue Mountains, if you didn't know, is part of the Great Dividing Range and thus a national park. We are quite literally surrounded by fires from the north to the south. At any moment the wind could change and could wipe out potentially hundreds of homes, mine included. We have never seen anything this big before. Fires are normal for us, but the scale of fires is absolutely insane. However, I want to thank the rest of the world got their generosity at this times. It is truly heartwarming to see so many people give support from all corners of the globe. Peace be with you, and I hope the rain heads our way. Remember, the firefighters that are fighting the bushfires aren't full-time firefighters. They have jobs like accountants, IT, etc., and do this as volunteers. They use up their annual leave to fight the fires, or if they have an understanding boss, leave without pay. I tip my hat to anyone that does this. As an Australian, the scariest part of these fires is when it's so hot and out of control, it creates its own weather system, including fire tornadoes, huge fire blasts and lightning strikes. We have bushfires every year that we have been evacuated for, but never like this. So much of our wildlife and heritage listed bush is destroyed. My family leaves water out and we are constantly finding animals like echidnas and possums drinking from it. As an Australian, the scariest part of these fires is when it's so hot and out of control, it creates its own weather system, including fire tornadoes, huge fire blasts and lightning strikes. We have bushfires every year that we have been evacuated for, but never like this. So much of our wildlife and heritage listed bush is destroyed. My family leaves water out and we are constantly finding animals like echidnas and possums drinking from it. The moment we all knew it was bad was when 4,000 people were stranded on a tiny beach while these fires so quickly took over the towns, and the only way to escape was into the ocean. The international support has been insane, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you. There is a lot going on in the world, and it's nice to know people can come together in times like these for complete strangers. I hope this isn't a stupid question or ignorant, but how did these start? Do we know? As a Californian, I thought our wildfires are bad, but this is nothing compared to Australia. It's the most apocalyptic thing I've seen. As an Australian, I want to thank the international community for acknowledging the extent of this crisis and their ongoing support. I'm not directly affected by the fires, but it's amazing to see complete strangers across the world donate to our charities and send firefighters to help us and the animals during this time. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Edit, thank you for all the comments and support. I agree. Our government should be doing more, and it's a shame that we have to resort to asking for help. I hope our government is held accountable. As others have said, many other countries are faced with devastating floods or other disasters due to climate change. Please, let's make an effort to be better and challenge those in power to do better. Climate change is real, we have one planet. Let's take care of it. I'm working in a town that was evacuated, but we didn't lose a single building. The surrounding towns were hit hard, and we lost power and phone reception for a week. The whole experience was terrifying as we grappled with the predictions for the 4th of January, which, if they were right, would have flattened the town. There's going to be a lot of trauma to sift through just based on those experiences alone, but the major threat to the town is the economic implications. Every business here was gearing up for our tourist season, and had stock ready for our biggest week of the year, New Year's. The butcher immediately had to offload a crazy amount of stock just to keep the town fed while we were cut off. Our local pub lost so much in food and revenue, and the story is the same for every restaurant and small business here. These businesses rely on the tourist season to make enough profit to survive winter, and that's just not going to happen this year. Remember what your contributions mean to the local economy. Will donating food mean that people will be spending less at the local shops? There are definitely going to be locations that need your support that way, but those will be evacuation centers. In the coming months, the people here will be looking at how to rebuild long-term and how they're going to survive winter. If you get the chance this year, regardless of season, please visit Bermagee, NSW, and the surrounding towns. Come and buy some innocuous crap at the souvenir shops. Buy a stupid amount of meat from the butcher. Eat at the many amazing options we've got. Every town in southeastern NSW is going to be in the same position. Being forced to evacuate all the tourists has put all of these towns on the chopping block. The residents being evacuated sucked as well, but doesn't have the same far-reaching implications. Everyone in this town stood up to protect each other. The businesses in town immediately knew the implications of this but they didn't even blink before giving everything they had. I know for a fact that the butcher could have kept the majority of their stock cool using generators and a refrigerated truck, but instead immediately began supplying the town with food to cook on barbecues. While everyone was packed into the town center, the pub and club refused to serve alcohol to not inflame the situation any further. These people could have profited off this event. They could have at least come out of this in a better financial position than they are now. Instead, they did as much as they could, as fast as they could. Please support Southeast New South Wales in the coming years. Bring your families and inject money into our economy directly. Be amazing. Remember, this shit is the fault of the Liberals and the Nationals who fucking refuse to make any fucking move towards climate action. Labour Party is just as on the hook for being spineless bastards who still suck the teat of coal, oil, and gas companies. We need direct action, protest, and more political activity. Because the Greens, the damn Greens, are the only ones who are doing shit about the climate. Fuck Scott Morrison, fuck the Libs, fuck the Nats, and fuck every conspiracy theorizing bastard who muddies the waters of this shit. People have died and y'all want your fucking coal money. Get fucked.